I was really excited on the 30th of October to represent the Minister for Science and Innovation at the 2024 Australian Innovation Oz Awards. Congratulations to James Riley and Corrie McLeod for hosting and organising another fantastic event celebrating outstanding Australian innovation. There are a bunch of awards that were presented, all featuring terrific Australian researchers and entrepreneurs and startups. The GovTech category was won by a company called Milot that simplified planning approvals. The software innovation category was won by Nansen that focuses on digital forensics and online personal safety used a lot by victims of domestic violence. And the category that I presented, health tech, was won by a company called Navbit that produces technology and devices for surgery, including hip replacements. All outstanding homegrown Australian innovation. And Mr. Speaker, innovation is important. It supports our economic productivity and growth. And that means that it's obviously related to improving our standard of living. It's important to jobs and skills, of course. We want jobs and skills, not just in current industries, we want them in future industries. We want to build industries of the future. But importantly, innovation is also critical for a society's resilience, our ability to respond to challenges such as climate change, such as global health pandemics, such as disasters. Our ability to innovate determines the strength of a community to respond to these sorts of adverse effects. So, Mr. Speaker, there's good news and bad news. I think the good news is that according to the Australian Innovation Statistics that were released last month, more and more Australian businesses are involved in innovation. Those statistics said 45% of Australian businesses are engaged in innovation activities in 2022-2023. However, there is cause for concern. Australia's recent productivity growth has been patchy, whilst overall R&D intensity, which is the percentage of our GDP that we spend on R&D activities, has been falling over the last 2 decades. So in 2008 to 2009, it was 2.25%, and that has fallen to 1.68% in 2021-2022. And this is really concerning because if we fail to make the optimum investment in R&D today, this negative impact is going to be felt in many years to come, in decades to come, in terms of our innovation capacity and our productivity. So how do we turn this around? What do we need to do? There's been a lot of thinking and research on this. How do we lift Australia's R&D intensity? And compared to other countries around the world, so as I said, Australia right now is 1.68% of our GDP we spend on R&D activities. Israel spends about 5.5% of its GDP on R&D. South Korea spends about 5% of its GDP on R&D, a similar sized economy and population to our own. And the USA, Belgium, Sweden, Austria, Switzerland, Japan, all around the 3 to 3.5% mark. So we are way behind in terms of other countries and the amount that their governments and their societies invest in innovation and R&D activity. We've got a lot of catching up to do. What are the sort of policies that can support this? There are, of course, tax incentives. Many people have suggested a R&D tax incentive bonus for businesses that collaborate with a university or a research institute. Doubling down on international collaboration in research partnerships that bolster trade ties and investment. Skilled migration. If an international student is coming here and doing a PhD at an Australian university, one would argue that there should be a fast track to permanent residency for that. We would want to keep that person here in Australia, particularly in industries where their skills are in demand. There should be more R&D grants, capital that targets smaller firms so they can bridge that valley of death where so many startups die. And of course, the creation of innovation precincts where you co-locate universities and academia with businesses that need that. But I think critically, a lot of this is a cultural thing. At those innovation awards, we celebrated innovation. And I think that Australia as a country, we can do a lot more to raise the profile and to celebrate our innovators in the same way that we celebrate something like the Australian of the